entiendo, pero... Sí, pero déjame ver. Pero Wi-Fi, entonces es más fácil. Grace, what's the Wi-Fi? Grace, for Grace. Conviene porque cada vez que están aquí ahora van a tener Wi-Fi. Sí, yes. Ahí. Entonces, yo tengo casi, pero yo quiero usar eso con todo. Entonces, cuando ustedes estaban esperando, yo digo, déjame que me ayuden a hacer un experimento a ver si sale. Entonces, si es posible que con todo, y tú también, porque también estoy pidiendo cumpleaños, fechas de nacimiento para celebrar. Tenemos que ser mejores celebrar los cumpleaños. Sí.
Gracias.
Ajá, sí. Pero si es posible que tú también lo hagas, lo puedes compartir conmigo o lo sé.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for that. Appreciate it. Welcome to Back to School Night. You've probably heard that before. I'm saying it again now. Just awesome to be back at Grace here with so many familiar faces, and also exciting to welcome so many new ones here as we get ready to start a new school year, the 2025-2026 school year here at the Academy. You're in the right place right now. We're going to be up here for what hopes to be under an hour to talk about what we're calling GCA 101, what every parent needs to know. And honestly, I told the staff earlier, it's what you need to know too. So just 101, the things that you must know kind of for school to begin. So maybe you were debating what to do with your evening. You made the right choice. Just one quick thing on that for you. So you may say by the end of the night, oh, I probably could have picked this up later. But just a word of thanks for not doing that, because it makes life a lot easier on our whole team here, right? So you could call Pastor Sartorius tomorrow and ask him all the questions, and he can try to answer them, but that takes extra time, right? So all of us in one spot makes it go quicker, and then the other thing it does is it just brings our whole school family together, which is kind of awesome. So GCA 101, what every parent needs to know to kind of kick us off here tonight in the way we try to do all things around here. We're going to begin with a word of prayer, and to do that, I'm going to introduce to y'all Pastor Kevin Waddles here, and he's going to kind of lead us in prayer.
Thank you, Mr. Price. So good evening. Welcome, everybody. On behalf of Grace Evangelical Lutheran Church, I want to welcome you to this new school year. So Grace has been doing Grace Christian Academy for over 50 years. It's a blessing that we feel that God has given to us to have an academy, to have Christian education is a big part of the ministry that we do here. And I just want to say to each and every one of you as parents out there, thank you very much for entrusting the academy with your child, with your children this year. I promise you that everyone at the academy will do their utmost best, not only to teach your child the things that she or he needs to know for life in this world, but also life with their Savior Jesus and life with their Savior Jesus in the life and world to come. So with those things, welcome, and let's have that word of prayer. Gracious and Almighty God, come before you here this evening, and we thank you for bringing us into this place this evening. We thank you for the new school year that is upon us, and as that school year begins this coming Wednesday morning at 8 o'clock, we ask your blessing on safe travel, not only on that day, but on all school days for the Academy families. We ask for your blessing of good health for the Academy families, for the staff here. We ask that you bless the staff in the sense that they can use the many, many gifts, talents, and blessings with which you've given to them to educate the children and to help families that have been entrusted to us by you. We also, Lord, ask that same kind of blessing upon families, same kind of blessing upon the scholars. You've blessed them in so many ways. Help those blessings rise to the top, that they can learn to the best of their ability the things that they need to know for this life and also life with you, their Savior Jesus. We ask these things tonight in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor. And kind of on that note, so just some goals for this evening, and then some introductions, and maybe a little bit more about two men sitting up here in front by me, and then the rest of our ministry team here at Grace. So first thing with that, just you see the goals on the screen. So we want to share with you what we're about here at Grace. You heard a little bit about that from me. You already heard a little bit about that from Pastor Waddles. Want to equip you with the tools and information you need for a great school year. And I'm going to tell you something, that does change year to year. There was a day and age when a computer in a classroom was not a thing, right? So every year there's something that's a little different in the world of education. We want you to know what those things are. And then the third goal, building that partnership. We thank you, as Pastor said, for entrusting your children to us. And we want to build that strong foundation for each scholar's success. So, yeah, you heard from Pastor. Grace Christian Academy is a ministry of the church. Really, we think of, there's a variety of ministries we have here at Grace, kind of the three main things you might think of when you think of Grace. So Evangelical Lutheran Church, English ministry, right? Iglesia Luterana Gracia y Paz, the Spanish ministry, and then Grace Christian Academy. And so with that kind of leads in introductions. I want to introduce Pastor Sartorius, and he's just going to share a couple words on kind of what he does here at Grace and how he can be of support to you here at the Academy.
Thank you, Mr. Price. I'm Tim Sartorius. Been serving here as a pastor for 18, 19 years, so it's wonderful to see so many of you here. My ministry, as he mentioned, is in Spanish, and so along those lines, I just wanted to share this brief encouragement. If you, along the way, starting today or at any time, need information, and if you happen to speak Spanish, if you are comfortable in Spanish, or just happen to see me, or it's more convenient, or for whatever reason, I often serve as a liaison, so to speak, with parents, and so glad to do that and get to know you better if you're new, and if you're returning, look forward to working together. And then I'm just going to share that real quick in Spanish. So, mi nombre es, soy el Pastor Sartorius. Estoy aquí por casi 20 años, 18, 19 años. Sirvo como pastor, pero también como enlace con las familias de la iglesia. Así que si ustedes sienten la necesidad o se sienten bien, necesitan consultar y es más conveniente, yo siempre estoy dispuesto a ayudar, a compartir políticas, contestar sus preguntas, ayudar con formularios, en línea y todo eso. Por favor, no tengan pena. Estoy siempre dispuesto a ayudar y será un gusto. I also coach basketball and just kind of, I'm here a lot, so I end up supporting in a lot of different ways. And so once again, thank you all for being here. Look forward to seeing you throughout the rest of this year.
Thanks. Yeah, and just while we're talking about all of the ministries, and just wanted to start with sharing a little bit about what else we offer here besides just day school education. So on Sunday mornings, Grace has 4 worship services. You see that on the screen, and we can tell you more. Any of the 3 of us and all the staff here really could tell you more about what those are about later. And then also on Sunday mornings, so Bible studies and English and Spanish. Sunday school, that's for kids like your children, and we'd love to have them here. If you want to learn more about that, just talk to me later about that. And then the final thing, so Bible information class. And some of you in this room are currently taking Bible information class with Pastor Waddles. Some of you have in the past. Both pastors willing, able, anytime, really any place to do that sort of thing for you. So just that kind of before we get into the logistics of a new school year. Pastor Waddles introduced himself. Pastor Sartorius introduced himself. I really didn't introduce myself. My name, Mr. Price. This is my 4th year with Grace, 2nd year as principal here. So some of you, I think we've gotten to know each other pretty well. To new families, looking forward to get to know you even more. Do a little bit of a lot of different things around here. We do basketball together, Pastor and I do. You might see me sometimes up here singing, playing music. But if you need something regarding your child's education, that's my primary role here, and I'm here to support you with that. Other introductions I want to make, and I don't have slides for all of them, but kind of the thing I want you to do. So staff members, we're going to introduce you just briefly. When I say your name, if you can stand up, wave, that kind of thing, we can put a name to a face. And then the final thing with the introductions, so in your folders that you got today, you got a whole directory that shows the face, the name, and the role of our ministry team here. And then you also, if you lose that, could just go to gracechristianacademy.org/staff, and you'd see all that same information, including how to contact us. So really quickly, we're going to kind of go rapid fire through this. So 2 pastors, myself, who else is here? 7th and 8th grade teacher, Marissa Martin. 5th and 6th grade teacher, Mr. Pingle. 3rd and 4th grade teacher, Mrs. Tunnen. 1st and 2nd grade teacher, Mrs. Sartorius. kindergarten teacher, Miss Staub. Junior kindergarten teacher, Miss Botts. Okay, and that's our teaching team. Then moving on from there, office personnel. So Mrs. Penny Hoding, most often called around here, Miss Penny, who works in the school office, and I'm sure you already know Miss Penny. Bethany Kazakevicius right up here in the front. She's taking pictures, things like that tonight. You saw her downstairs. She leads our third source funding efforts here at the Academy. And then Mrs. Tricia Vischer's not able to be here tonight, but she also handles a lot of office things here at Grace. We have EAs here tonight. If you serve as an EA, could you just wave, stand up, that sort of thing, so people know who you are? And again, I'm trying to go quick, so I'm not going to list all the names tonight. They are in the folder. They are online. We'd be happy to connect you to the EAs more later. And yeah, I don't think I missed anyone. That's introductions. Number for you here, 1,350, and your job here is to try to throw out some guesses as to what you think I'm talking about by putting the number 1,350 on the screen. Any ideas? You're like, you have no context. I know. Any ideas? Want to take a stab? What is this maybe related to? Shout it out if you got anything. Students enrolled maybe in a couple years, yeah? Okay, what else? What else? Graduates. Points, maybe that Pastor Sartorius scored in his high school career? Right. Yeah, no. So this statistic, a number that some researchers put out there of hours that a child spends in school in a year. Okay, and you can look up this number and get different numbers, but they're in this ballpark, over 1,000, under 2,000. And if you think about it, at least 170 days, right, in pretty much every school, roughly 7 hours a day. And so kind of a thing for you to think about. That's why I brought this book up actually in front of me. If some of you were at our annual gala last year, you heard a guy speak, Dr. Alan Pugh. He wrote this book. Not even here to give you the shameless plug, but just the statistics for you. So the research out there, 15 minutes a day, a dad spends with the child in face-to-face conversation. 47 hours a child typically spends in church in a year. 1,350 they spend in school. And I didn't even share with you how many hours they spend on social media. So where's the place that's going to influence them the most? Obviously, I'm a principal, I'm going to tell you that, but I gave you some data to back it up. And if you want the actual research studies, I'll send them to you later. It's school. It's right here, Grace Christian Academy. And so you're making a big decision by choosing to have your kids here. We don't take that lightly. And hopefully throughout the rest of this presentation, which is going to go quick, and throughout the rest of this school year, you think about that 1,350, and you think you made a wise investment. And we're quite confident you did, because we're going to do it this way. So the mission of the school, we emphasize Christ in everything, and that's kind of why we started our evening with prayer, why we talked about all the ministries of grace and how we're here together to support you and connect you to Jesus. We want to provide our scholars with a superior education. So if all we did, and some of you have heard me say this before, if all we did was tell you about Jesus, that'd be the most important thing, but we wouldn't be a school. And if we would, we wouldn't be a good one. So that's not enough for us. We want to give your child a superior education. More on that. You've probably heard from the classroom teachers already. And then when we emphasize Christ and we give a superior education, A plus B equals C, math equation, right? Laying the foundation for success. As you kind of heard Pastor talk about, as you've already heard me talk about, success in this life and the next. What's that success look like? The phrase I want to stick in your mind, it sticks in mine throughout your child's time here is, when they leave, they're going to make a Christ-guided impact. When my child leaves, they're going to make a Christ-guided impact. When my child leaves, they're going to make a Christ-guided impact. In high school, in college, in the workforce, whatever they do, right? And if you're someone who follows our social media page, hopefully you see us highlighting different examples of graduates who are doing exactly that, making Christ-guided impacts in this world. Tonight, some of the folks doing childcare, first off, they're doing an awesome job. Some of them graduates of the academy, making a Christ-guided impact, even here tonight. What are we trying to do internally? We're striving for excellence, never to attain it, always trying to, in Christian education and community outreach. So, school year theme this year, every year at the Academy, we have a theme. This year, here it is on the screen, God cares for you. Based on 1 John 3, verse 1, see what kind of love the Father has given to us that we should be called children of God. 1 John 3, 1. In a nutshell, what's this theme about? It's simple but profound. Whether you are in the highest points of your life, whether you're in the lowest points of your life, something doesn't change. Someone doesn't change. It's God and His care for you. Take you back to John 3:16. Maybe some of you might know that passage, one of the most famous passages in the Bible. For God so loved the world that He gave His one and only Son, that whoever believes in Him shall not perish, but have eternal life. Founded in that verse, God's care for you. God's care for me, God's care for your child. So in our chapel services this year, and we do one of those each month where we gather around God's Word as a family, what are we going to focus on? The fact that God cares for you. And it's something we never want to forget. So maybe we find out someone we love has cancer. God still cares for you. God still cares for them. Maybe we find out we lost our job. A lot of folks in this area did recently, right, with some of the government turnover. That's not God stopping caring for you. He still does. And so, yes, in our big successes, in our lowest of lows, when we mess up and we feel like there's nowhere to go, no one to turn to, God's still there. His love that He lavishes on you and me is always there for you and for me. So that's the theme of the year. The scholars are going to learn a lot more about that throughout the year. And kind of last thing on that. So again, I said once a month chapels. You're invited. We want to see you there. Work is a thing. So if you don't make it all the time, if you maybe only make it to one, if you tune in on your phone, whatever it is, we get it. But you're invited. We want you there as well. It's important that your children see that you care about what they have to care about each and every day too. And then one more thing with that is before chapel every month, we have this family fellowship time, okay, where we're going to have snacks and opportunity to get to know one another. Kind of nice sometimes to know the parents of the children whom your kids hang out with, right? So that's another way you can do that. If we can take away the thing in the bottom right corner of my screen, that'd be great. All right, so what you've said. So last year we held stakeholder meetings and surveys. If you're a returning family, you knew about this. Hopefully you participated. I could tell you, here's what we're about at GCA, or you could tell everyone here what we're about at GCA. And up on the board, up on the screens, are quotes from you. And I just pulled some of them. I don't have enough time to share all of them. But if you want to know what we're about, what's different about GCA, here they are. Loving faith-based environment, caring teachers, strong community, it's safe. And we pursue academic excellence. Communication, communication, communication. So much I could talk about. I am going to just roll through this list. Everything you see on the screen, you also are going to see on the blue handout that you picked up today. Maybe an important thing to kind of review that more later. Maybe not right now, as I'm going to keep going. But these are the different ways in which we're going to communicate with you. And my one thing I want to say about this is, if you skip one of them, you're not going to be in the know. And if we skip one of them with you, we're not going to be in the know, right? So you shoot me a text and you say, hey, Mr. Price, so-and-so is going to be a little late to pick up the kids today. And if I never check the text, right, then I start wondering, well, where is so-and-so to pick up the kids? And I hop on the phone and I try to call you and you're in a work meeting and you're like, why is Mr. Price calling me? Mr. Price, did you see my text? I told you, right? So we have to do the same thing that we're asking you to do, but you gotta be ready and able to do all these different forms of communication. If any of them are something with which you're not comfortable, ask me, ask Pastor Sartorius, ask Bethany, ask Penny, ask the teachers. We're here to get you set up. Maybe you saw the little QR codes to get you on Remind when you walked in the building today. That's just one example. There's many more. A few things to be mindful of with communication. You always got to give us your most current information. Otherwise, I can't get a hold of you, especially in an emergency. That's not a good thing. We need to have what's current. If you're someone who this kind of statement applies to, maybe there's a child custody agreement, right? We need that, and we need the most current one. And I'm pretty black and white with this. So what do I mean? If you try to come tell me that I shouldn't give information to your ex because of so-and-so, but you have no court document to back that up, I'm not going to listen to you, okay? You give me the document, we'll follow that every single time. And that's out of love for all of you, okay? So just be mindful of that. The other thing to keep in mind, so in the handbook, we don't have time to talk about it too much right now, but 11.2 is all about, so there's a grievance you have, right? And grievance, what does that mean? So you're frustrated, you're upset about something, and sometimes rightfully so. There's a right and a wrong way to handle that, okay? Just like if, I'm going to use an example, and you're going to get introduced to a scholar here. Thanks for being my example. So if Penny here, if I'm really upset at Penny for the way she slammed her locker, and I'm walking down the hall, and I just start yelling at Penny in my loudest voice possible in front of all the scholars, that's the wrong way to do it, right? There's a better way to do it. And the same thing's true when you're frustrated, you're upset with me. When you're frustrated, you're upset with your child's teacher, with a student in the class. And the right way to do it is outlined in the handbook. And every single time you do try to share a grievance with me, if it's not according to that, I'm going to call you on it, and I'm going to point us back to it, because that's the founding way we decided to handle it. And the simple guideline would be take a breath, right? Give it some time, think about it, then reach out, seeking first to understand, then to be understood, and we go from there. And I'm going to try to do the same thing for you. If you don't feel I am, you let me know, and I'll apologize, and we'll move forward. Who do I contact if? Number 18 in the handbook, it's like the last page of the handbook, has a whole listing of, if I have a question, here's who you go to. And then the safety valve, catch-all, get-all is ask Mr. Price, okay? Academics, so you were just in back to the classroom sessions. Hopefully the teachers made that time worthwhile. I know they did. We talked through what they were going to talk about. Kind of the thing I want to emphasize is, in the mission, we say Christ in everything. What does that have to do with the curriculum? Every day, devotion, Bible lesson, hymns, passages. It digs deeper than just that, though. The whole grievance thing, we're going to want to handle that in a Christ-like way. But we don't stop there. Each day, your scholar's going to have probably an hour's worth, if not more, of mathematical instruction. An hour, if not more, of English language arts. That includes reading, writing, spelling, vocabulary, verbal communication, listening skills, all the above. We firmly believe in whole child development, so we're going to do spiritual, emotional, social, physical, academic development, all of them, and try to prioritize them all. Parent support for learning at home. So kind of the thing I want you to be mindful of is a new initiative we've really tried to emphasize in the last year and going to keep doing is trying to share more with you about how we can do this thing together. So teacher talks, you should read those, and in the teacher talks, you should see ways in which you can support the learning that's taking place in the classroom. Maybe it's, here's the practice problems to work through with them. Ask them to tell you about this, those kinds of things. In what we have, we call a weekly newsletter that we send out here at the Academy, there will always be, this is a new thing, there will always be a spot called Parent Conversations, okay? When you had a child, the doctors didn't say, here's the manual on parenting, right? And I'm not here to tell you I'm the parenting expert either, but we know a lot of people who are, and we've got a lot of resources we can gather to help you with that. And so every week in the newsletter, you're going to see a parent conversations section. Tune into that, check that. That's a resource available to you. Other resources available to scholars. So Mrs. Smith, are you in the room at the moment? Yes, she is. She's in the back. Mrs. Smith heads up our school counseling program here at the Academy. I had someone the other day tell me how impactful their work with their child's work with Mrs. Smith will be. I agree. My only thing I want to tell you is school counseling is for everyone. And so just like devotion is for everyone, math is for everyone, social emotional growth is a thing we all need. And the people who know the most about how to help that growth happen are licensed professional counselors with educational backgrounds. We got one. So that's the work that Mrs. Smith does here. If you want more information on what she does, you ask me, you ask Mrs. Smith. You could also go to the website, gracechristianacademy.org/parents, and you're going to see tons of information on what school counseling is all about. Mrs. Killian, I don't believe she's here, able to join us right now. Another way in which we provide additional resources for your children is through a learning specialist, something we've done for about 5-6 years now here. And last year, when we had some folks come in to review our school, one of the positive comments they made was, "It's so awesome you have a learning specialist." And I couldn't agree more. So if your child is someone who needs a little bit of a pick-me-up in certain subject areas for whatever reason, or needs a little bit of an extra challenge, they're overachieving, they need to be pushed even more, the learning specialist helps that happen and helps the teacher to do that. Parent partnership. So, and thank you, by the way, for just letting me continue to roll on and on and on. I know, and this is why I'm making a little pause, because I know all the research in the world, I was trying to give you research earlier, would tell you, don't stand up there and lecture for an hour straight. And here I'm doing it. Part of the reason I'm doing it is in the interest of your time, but it's also to make sure we cover some key things. So just the thing I'd ask you to do is if I say something, you got a question about it, jot it down, mark it down, and maybe the parent next to you would be a good person to ask. Maybe it's a teacher, maybe it's me later, but yeah, thanks for understanding that we're not taking too many questions yet. We'll do more at the end. So, importance of together. If there's a word that I wanted to emphasize this year that in my other 3 years here I haven't emphasized, I think it's together. It's not me educating your child. It's not Mrs. Sartorius educates your child. That's true, though, but we all do, right? The way in which you talk to your child in the car matters. The way in which I greet your child at pickup matters. The way in which the teacher instructs in math matters. It all matters. So let's be in it together, and ways in which we can be in it together. So we heard some feedback over the course of a while now regarding parents saying we'd love to be more involved in the whole together concept. And it's been a thing we've wanted to implement for a while, just time, right? That's why it hasn't happened sooner. But now we have something we're calling a parent group. And so I'm just going to ask if the DeCamps are in the room and if the Clows are in the room, or either of them, if they could just kind of wave, that kind of thing. So this new parent group, I don't have a ton of time to tell you about today other than what's its purpose and who's kind of leading it forward at the moment. So the people who just waved, the Clows, the DeCamps, the veteran parents of GCA, they're folks that have kind of been tasked with serving as kind of, the word I'm using is leads. Doesn't mean they're the bosses. Doesn't mean they're the only parents who matter or they're Mr. Price's favorite parents. They're not. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have favorite parents, really, I don't. Except for if you follow all their expectations, then maybe you become one. But they're folks who have willing servant hearts and want to help get this parent group off the ground. So what's the purpose of the parent group? To support scholars, fellow parents, and that's the one we're really going to lean into this year, and then also the staff. First way in which they're going to do that, parent group is leading what we're calling a parent social, and you've seen communications about that, on the second day of school in the evening, the 21st. More information on that to come, but that's the first effort the parent group's doing. I already mentioned you can go to, and this is somewhat of a new thing, go to our website, go to gracechristianacademy.org/parents, and you can see about 25 different links there. And they're all there for you. They're not there for me. They live in my Google Drive. They're there on the website for you. And something that Bethany and I are going to keep working on is just adding and enhancing that page. And if you've got feedback on things you would love to have on that page, you just let me know. Examples of things you might find there. Field trip forms. Maybe you're going to be gone. So family trip forms. You could download one, print it off, send it into the office. More information on school counseling I already talked about. Parent group information will be up there soon. So some examples. Practical details. Practical details. First day of school is when? The 20th. Wednesday the 20th, a week from today. What time does school start? 8 a.m. And it's not 8:07. It's 8 a.m. Okay? Because we could start at 8:07, but then you'd try telling me it's 8:14, and it would keep going. So we have to pick 8 time. It's 8 o'clock. Arrival, though, you can drop your kid off anytime after 7 o'clock, and not 6:52, right? 7 o'clock. And you can come at 6:52, but we're going to ask you to stay here with your child until 7. That's just respecting the before care supervisor's time. So 7 o'clock, and that goes till 7:45. Anytime you drop off in that window, your child goes to before care. More on before care in the handbook. More was shared with you on before care when you toured the school, right? Things like that. 7:45 to 8 o'clock is what we call like the standard drop-off period. And if you're a new parent, maybe that's a thing to talk to a veteran parent next to you about. If you see a new parent next to you, talk to them about it a little bit. I had great dreams of putting together a diagram to put on the screens for you today. It didn't happen. But talk to the folks next to you. They'll explain it. If you just come into the driveway here at about 7:50, you'll know there's only one way to go because everyone else is doing it, and you'll kind of learn that way. A thing with dismissal. So dismissal starting at 3:30, 15-minute dismissal window. After that, we still will dismiss your children. It's just they're going to be put in aftercare. Just like I said about before care, more on aftercare in the handbook. And then also just something you've heard about from teachers, from Ms. Penny, from me, and you could ask fellow parents about. Aftercare runs till 6 p.m. If you want to come at 6:07, you could. We don't love it. And if you come at 6:07, we charge you extra for every minute after 6 o'clock. Again, in the interest of the aftercare supervisor's time. What if they had dinner plans, right? Maybe they got to go pick up their aunt from the airport, and here they are waiting for you to come pick up your child. So that's why there's a little bit of a stiff penalty, if you will, for picking up late. But any time before 6 works for us. That's $9 an hour. Okay, aftercare is $9 an hour this school year. One more thing with dismissal. So this is not like a new GCA policy, but it's an idea, encouragement that I'm sharing with you. So if you're someone who's going to be getting out of your vehicle to help your child get into the vehicle, perhaps choose the lane furthest to the right. Okay? If you're a parent of a child who, like, in 6th grade, I think they can get in the vehicle on their own. I hope. If they can't, we might have a conversation. But maybe pick the left lane. Why would I say that? First off, the littlest of littles, then they're not crossing traffic. Another reason, then we have one lane that gets to go a little quicker and one that goes a little slower versus 2 lanes going pretty slow. Okay, so just an idea. It's not a new policy, but if it works really well, we might make it that. So a thing to think about. Uniform reminders, you can talk to me, you can talk to Ms. Penny. The teachers are well equipped to answer uniform questions. There's also a whole section in the handbook on the uniform. One thing I want to note, point of emphasis this year with the uniforms, 2 of them. The first being this. So, and I'm trying to find an example of someone out here. It's warm out, so I don't see too many sweatshirts. But if your child's going to wear a sweatshirt, a sweater, things like that, they need to be GCA sweatshirts, sweaters, crew necks, zip-ups. If they're going to wear them in the building during the school day, we have a uniform, so we're going to wear the uniform. They can wear other sweatshirts, hoodies outside at recess. That's fine. But if they're going to be in the classroom and they want to tell us, we're cold, can we go get a sweatshirt? needs to be a Grace one. More information on that and on Flynn O'Hara, our uniform provider, in the handbook. Also a thing to note, we have a ton of uniforms downstairs right now. Those are yours for the taking for free. Obviously, if they fit your child. If they don't just take them all. But yeah. Lunch and snacks. Hot Lunch Mondays will be a thing. You'll hear more when those are starting up. They don't start in August. They'll probably start beginning of September. Wednesdays, we have optional Subway lunches for a cost. Forms get sent out for that. Remind texts will go out to remind you to fill out those forms. Snacks are a good thing. They're a good thing for your children to have. It's a good thing to not go like 8 hours without eating. Gives your self energy. Now, if it's Doritos every day, I'm not sure they're actually helping that much. It's a different conversation. You can have them every once in a while, though. But lunch and snacks, they're important. The thing I'd ask with lunch is, if you pack your child a thing that needs to spend 7 minutes in the microwave, think of how much time they're going to have left to eat lunch. Probably not a whole lot, right? And then, so if everyone brings a 7-minute microwave lunch, how does that work? Not good, right? So want to be mindful, a minute or less, heat up type things, okay? I mentioned we have a church here. It's pretty obvious. We're sitting in it right now. The scholars participate in worship here. That's something we believe is important. We do it. And you might say it's just really nice to see the cute kids up there, and I don't disagree. But they sing, and monthly that happens. On the calendar that is in your red folder, and I'm going to just pull that out actually. Here's the red folder I keep speaking of. In there, you have a document. I think it's, what is the color we'd call it? It's like reddish colored. Salmon. Okay, salmon's the color we're calling it. That's the calendar. It's two-sided this year. It's two-sided, a little bit different format. So maybe you got to make an extra copy if you want to put both on the fridge, or just turn it when it's the next side part of the year, whatever the case may be. But two-sided calendar. All the singing dates are already in there. The first one's coming up quick. Rally Day, which is a ministry celebration we have here and have had for a very long time. And you're obviously encouraged to attend. Yeah, let's keep going. Policy reminders. So 3.6.2 in your handbook, and if you want to turn there with me, you're more than welcome to. 3.6.2 in the handbook says this: thank you for meeting your financial commitment to your children's Christian education at Grace Christian Academy. If a tuition, aftercare, or summer care payment is not received on time, according to your family's agreements, the following steps will be followed. If TADS, that's the service we do all the payments through, you enrolled your child through, right? If they're not in possession of your payment by midnight of day 5 of your agreed upon due date, so if the due date's the 20th, it's the 25th, they don't have it, a $50 late fee is applied. And I'm not waiving that. I really can't, because they get that money. That's how they make money out of this sometimes, okay? So that is what it is. You have to pay that if you're late. If you're 30 days late on payment of your children's tuition, aftercare fees, and or summer care fees, your children will not be able to attend GCA until you are current. Read that. I read that every year, because we don't want that. But you got to respect what we're doing here, and that's the reason for that, right? So if Mrs. Tunnan, is going to be here every day, she kind of likes to get paid to do that, so she can buy her kids clothes, food, that sort of thing. We like that the AC is working in here right now. In order for the AC to work, we got to pay bills, so we got to make the payments. By the way, that's usually something that families are really good with, but it's a reminder I got to give every year. And the other part of the reminder is, if it is 30 days and you aren't paying, they're not coming. And I don't want to have that conversation with you, but it's part of the job, and I have to have it. I didn't have to really have it too much last year. I don't want to have it too much this year. So make plans, budget time to budget your money, right, to find a way to do that in advance. And the final thing I'd say on this is this. If you know you're going through something, right, maybe you just lost a job, Maybe you're struggling with the current job. Maybe you're looking for a job. Tell me, okay? And you could also, if you don't really want to talk to me about it, you could talk to our Board of Ed chairman. His contact information's in the handbook. But talk to us ahead of time. Don't let 30 days pass, and then we reach out, and then you try to explain to me why you couldn't pay it, because then you're not being responsible to pay or to communicate. And that's a tough situation. So tell us ahead of time. We'll be able to work with you, okay? Attendance policy, this is another one that's kind of one of those like downer topics. Your kids need to be here for a lot of reasons. Today I didn't share the statistics on why being in school matters. Maybe I'll save that one for next year. Maybe I'll do that at the How to Be Successful night. But the stats are out there that prove that when kids aren't in schools, it's not good for them. Now, is a funeral an important thing? Of course. Go to the funeral. Fill out the family trip form. But in general, they need to be here, and they need to be here on time. When children aren't here on time, certain things happen, right? Last year, I read at length the tardiness policy, skipping reading that this year for the sake of time. It's in there. You can read it. It's very similar to the financial payment policy. When you start to have a pattern of repeated tardiness, we start reaching out to you. If that doesn't work and my reaching out to you isn't enough, more things happen. We don't want to go there. So just take care of that. Now, do things happen? Yeah. Do accidents on roads happen and we get stopped and we can't get here on time? Of course. And so we're flexible. Even sometimes, we won't even mark kids tardy because we know there were extenuating circumstances. But in general, if we're not here by 8 o'clock, it's going to be a tardy. And the thing with that is, so then you come and you sign your child in, okay? And what does that symbolize? You taking responsibility, okay? Just like if we mess up, we want to take responsibility, you got to come sign them in, okay? And I'm not going to hold a grudge against you the rest of the day. I'm going to greet you with a smile, be excited to see you, talk about the basketball game last night that you watched, I watched, or the awesome concert you saw the other night. I mean, great. But tardies are a thing, and we want to limit them as much as possible, okay? Failure to complete assignments, 8.3.1. I am going to read this. It's a slight update this year from in the past, okay? 8.3.1 is on... Okay, so 8.3 is on page 31. 8.3.1 is on page 32, and it reads this. Scholars are expected to complete homework assignments on time. Missing assignments may result in a grade reduction as determined by the classroom teacher. Late assignments may still be turned in for partial credit. If a late assignment is not completed by the start of the next school day, the scholar will be sent to homework club. Okay? For more information, see the stuff about homework club. Missing assignments become a pattern, we have a conversation. So the thing to note with that is there's no surprises when the teacher reaches out to you and says, so-and-so didn't turn their assignment in, they need to be in homework club tomorrow. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Technology acceptable use, just pointing out that there is a document in the red folder for you to fill out, for you to read first off. And then sign and say, yes, we will abide by this. My child will abide by this school year. Dress code policy, noting where that is. Facility enhancement fee. So the thing I want to mention about that is this past school year, you noticed that maybe in January, something go out, a communication regarding a facility enhancement fee. What is that about? So it's about our continued efforts to improve and support the work we do here. And it's a thing where we could just pull that from the tuition, right? We could add the $200 onto the tuition and charge it that way and call it that. But we want you to kind of see you're making a difference in the future of this place. And we also want you to know that that is going into a separate account. So that doesn't go into like the Mr. Price bonus fund, or there isn't one, by the way. It goes into simply improving what we offer here. The thing with the facility enhancement fee, $200 per scholar every year, so you can kind of plan on that and kind of budget accordingly. Some recent highlights I want to run through really quickly, and I'm running short on time, and I realize that. I'm getting close to being done, so we're in pretty good shape. Last school year, a big deal, and that's why I have to start this year by highlighting it. We renewed our accredited status. For the first time ever, we had our junior kindergarten, that's our 4-year-old program, accredited. The thing with the accreditation, the agency we work with accredits 150 schools. Out of the 150, 13 received the highest marks. We're one of the 13 at GCA. You want to see the plaque? Look in the main hallway. Lots of great things happening with the way we're running this school. And that's in large part to you and the children enrolled, right? Teaching faculty stability. For the first time in 7 years, the same 6 classroom teachers and the same principal are going to be here this year that were there a year ago. That's very helpful in a variety of ways, including with curriculum efforts and just family connections. In the newsletter I sent out pretty recently, you heard about soccer, you heard about piano lessons, talked to Mrs. Pingle about piano, talked to Mr. Pingle about soccer. Facility property improvements, when you drove in today, you might have seen, I can see the school building, right? Some trees were cut down, trimmed, new flooring in certain classrooms, new basketball equipment, new soccer equipment, those kinds of exciting things. And then the final thing I need to highlight, so at our August annual voters meeting that our congregation has, the congregation voted to move forward with submitting applications for a master site plan and a revised special use permit. What does that mean? 2 things. We're going to work with the county, and we already have been for a while, but now it's more official, towards a master site plan. That's just changing kind of the look of this place, and in this case, it just means expanding our facility. And then the revised special use permit, what's kind of exciting about that is currently we have a cap from the county at 99 scholars in the school, just based on overall size, capacity to serve. But the goal would be through that special use permit to lift that cap, raise it, right, so we can reach more people with the Christ-centered education we offer. So kind of exciting things. I'll keep you updated as we learn more. I mentioned that website already. Red folder, left side, okay, left side, yours to keep and leave. Right side needs to be returned to the school office to Miss Penny. Things to fill out. One I want to quickly highlight. There is a sheet in there, I believe it's green. Communication contact information opt-out and photo, video release opt-out. What's the thing to know? We understand there are circumstances which make you choose, and it's warranted to say, we don't want to share our contact information in this way. Or I would prefer that my child not be on the front of the newsletter or not be on social media pictured. Or maybe they can be, but we don't want their name. More information on the specifics in there. The point to make is, if you have special things you want us to note, you have to tell us. If you don't, we're going to assume it's all fine. That's what the idea of a negative consent form. That's the phrase I was looking for, okay? I want to see you on the 21st. I've been trying to go fast. I've got like 4 minutes left to get done by the end of the hour. However, we didn't start on time, everyone, so we got to get up here quicker next time. But the 21st, 5:30, want to see you at Grace. Location is kind of to be determined, but the point would be come to Grace, park your car. You'll kind of see where the flow of traffic's going for a cookout, a social time, and really the goal of this being to connect families. Okay, so we want to welcome the new families. You remember when you were new to Grace? Maybe you are new to Grace. We want you to feel like you're part of it and you're connected and able to get what you need to get. And then we'll come back up here for the same thing, not the same thing. We'll come back up here, same place, for a different presentation, going to feature former graduates, going to feature a few other people speaking, talking, parents, that kind of thing, to get you more than just the basics. And today was GCA 101, so that's what you received here today. Questions? My contact information is everywhere around this place. You can find it anywhere. I am not hiding. I'm here to be reached. I want to work with you, help you. Really, just a couple final comments, and then we're finishing up, okay? Today was back to school night. You prioritized the start of the school year by being here. That's appreciated. Few final thoughts to leave you with. People often say, let's make the 25-26 or the 26-27 the greatest school year ever. That isn't really my goal. That isn't our goal even. Now, it would be awesome. Our goal is simply to be faithful in doing what we said we're going to do. together. Together, we're going to be reminded from God and His Word, from each other, that God cares for us. Together, we're going to partner to provide Christ-centered education for your children for that 1,350 hours a year, and in some cases, way more than that for some of your children who do other activities. And we're going to do all we can to get them ready to make a Christ-guided impact today, tomorrow, in the months, in the years to come, right? In this life and the next. Thank you so much for being here. Please make sure you have a blue packet. Teachers are in the back ready to give them to you if you don't have one. There is a checklist there. Follow the checklist and you will be set to go for the beginning of this school year. Always remember, God cares for you. Take care. Have a great rest of your evening. Do it again? Yeah. You're welcome. Yeah, yeah, but anyway, I mean, if it's under 500 for a big 70, 80 thing, that makes sense. That's fine.
Too busy? That works.
And then, yeah, so I really don't know how many are going to come. I think today I saw less than I wanted, which could be messaging my own fault with how the whole we showed at 5:30 and left because the 7 thing happened.
Yeah.
You live and you learn. But the nice thing with this is it's the first time. So I don't think we'll have that issue, but it's always tough to tell. I do know there's people who weren't here tonight that will be there on the 21st. I just don't know how many people who are here will stay. But today, I don't know, how many do you think we are there tonight? 60?
Yeah, how about that?
60, maybe 70.
80 is probably a fair.
And when it's free, and
Right, we could reach out here.
get more people showing up and listen to me talk, you know.
Yeah, you did well. 15 minutes. I timed you. 15 minutes. You did.
Right, the teachers are gonna get an earful. It took you way too long. I'm not even, I'm half joking, half not, because that really,
Yeah.
like, and it's fine, I can make do, but it really makes the whole effort harder.
Mike made a point on teacher, the parents like, I'm gonna get you guys out here 5 minutes early.
He was
so
great.
you can go be.
Yeah, he had it down, so.
Yeah.
What was the thing with that? I was gonna tell you. Was it Dave, asking Dale if he wanted to come, so he may come, so. That wasn't what we tell you.
Does the school have like sticker name tags? They want us to put name tags
We
out?
can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do that. I'll have Stephanie locate them for Tricia. We have them.
And do you have like the formatting for them, like a whatever program they use to put names and all that kind of stuff? Okay. Perfect.
So we're not meeting on Saturday. We're gonna meet the following Saturday
Try.
for the,
Yep.
and maybe like, do you wanna just plan into your routine, like giving like a little update at each meeting?
Yeah.
And some months it can literally be no new news, can be the update. Like report, at our church council meetings, well, at the voters meeting, you've seen some of those. But I think it'd be a good routine, and then it's you, it's not me. I like that.
Happy to.
Still not the thing I was looking for.
We'll be here in a few minutes to remember.
Hey,
So they tell 80 people. 80 people play in a top end $500 person. Over under $500.
Mr. Price, as I bark a few questions at you, sorry, and we haven't had a chance to formally
no need
ask.
to apologize at all.
Name tags.
You got it. We can do.
Okay, but
You
here's
know.
my question, and maybe I'm persnickety about this, but I think because it's a parent social, I've kind of given this some thought. It would be nice if the name tags were like pre-printed, like and mine says Sarah Clow, 3rd grade, 4th grade, just kidding.
Wow.
Whitney DeCamp, 4th grade, or like Chris Boydie would say, well, just kidding, he only has one now. Okay, sorry, I was trying to find somebody.
Bethany.
The Hendricks, yeah, or Bethany.
Yep.
But now I realize that we're gonna quote unquote waste some of them because if only one parent comes, I get it, but I think it would be nice. And maybe we have someone like you're greeting someone and saying, hi, who are you? A lot of times like when you write your own name tag, it's in isolation. You don't meet anybody, you slap it on, you keep going. I just wonder if that might be a nice touch to have like either a teacher or like Mr. Pingle just asked, like how could he be a participant or support? And so I was thinking whether that's a teacher or another fellow parent.
Sure.
I don't know, I just think it's a connection point.
Yep.
I think sometimes, I know it's a ridiculous kind of,
Sounds good.
okay, so could we get a listing, is there a way to get a listing of all the parents' names? So we could print
We
those?
can do it either way. Do you wanna do it, or do you want us to
Yeah,
print
cause
it out?
I don't want to stress this thing.
Yeah, and I have a printer, so I can read them very
Sounds
easily.
good.
And then maybe,
Well, I'll look forward to it.
and maybe we could get like a little star sticker or something for new GCA.
I was just thinking
it
of like
would
a
say-
color or something that I like this.
Okay.
Like I can just add, I can do it
Identify
in
with
the
highlight.
template, like for the, when you buy the stickers, you can download a template for
valid, and as a Addie's mom, that I just appreciate it.
So please put, yeah, that's what I
Okay,
was getting
name
at.
tag, so first and last.
And so with the attendance thing that I was talking to Chris about, so the thing is, we have over 100 parents. So, and the reasoning, so some single parents, but then some like triple, right? Like you get like a step parent in there, and you got 95 scholars. So it's like 120. I don't have an exact number, but I would guess 50%, right? Because you're going to get some who no show, and then you're going to get some who send one and not the other. And then with the staff, my guess is like 75%, who's 20 of us. So that's, you know, and so that puts you in the, yeah, like 75 to 85-ish range. And knowing y'all, knowing the way, and a lot of folks, like, you're not going to make less food than that. So 85 means make food for 95. You know, like, that's what ends up happening. So I think that'll be a good range.
Okay, did you chat at all some of the idea for the food options?
No, I hadn't yet.
So we were thinking with pork buns, we're really struggling with the mac and cheese.
Right, I mean, pulled pork and buns, not pork.
Yes,
buns,
not pork
right?
buns.
Let's make sure.
Wow. Yeah, pulled pork buns. I'm struggling with the mac and cheese. Part of
Okay.
that is just the logistics of us. I love me some good mac and cheese, and we can make that. However, we work full time, getting it put together, cooked. There's a lot of labor there.
Doesn't need to happen.
So, and what we're trying to figure out is the balance for the vegetarian options. So we're thinking a cold pasta salad.
Okay.
So cold pasta salad, you know, tomatoes, cucumbers,
Great.
bell peppers, but do a black bean salad,
Okay.
which is probably gonna be black beans, corn,
Yeah.
maybe
Red
some
onions.
something
Lime juice.
like that.
You want it.
And then we could also do coleslaw, because kind of that's synonymously pork and coleslaw do kind of
You
go
make a
together.
pork sandwich, you gotta have coleslaw.
You gotta have
That's not
coleslaw on
pork
your.
And I think also too, since who knows what the weather will be next Thursday at 5:30. If it's really hot, then those are cold
Yeah.
side, so.
And then other food.
Is that
Great.
okay? I mean,
Works
this is a
great.
matter of kind of convenience and logistics.
Works great.
Okay.
It's not a bag of Lay's potato chips, so it's fine by me.
Well, we were wondering whether
That's
we
one
needed
thing-
to
I know,
do
it just
chips.
felt
I
like
think we
we
got our
needed
answer.
something, yeah.
Well, and that's the thing is, do we, I mean,
No, I think we're fine with those.
we cast fruit only because it gets expensive,
Okay.
but we have lots of veg in there.
Works good.
Bottled water, and we're thinking about getting some gallons of iced tea.
Yeah, that's fine.
Is that okay?
And either way on the water thing, I was debating it too, like, because we have, and we can get brand new ones too, like the junk thing, right? Fill them up with iced water, and,
Oh, the
Gatorade
Gatorade
things.
jugs?
right?
Oh.
And we're gonna get some new ones anyway with like soccer.
Okay.
And they're going all the way back in to fill up water bottles, and so that's an option. I'm also fine with bottled water. The folks who used to really have a shtick against
Yes.
bottled water, so.
Yes.
Anyway.
Well, and I mean, I don't like all the waste, but you're gonna have waste one way or the other, because you either have the cups from the water or the bottles from the water. It's not like Whitney and I had to bring water.
Very
over there,
true
you
on
know.
the cups with the water.
The bottles would just, it would keep it moving as opposed to having to wait in line to get your cup
It's too
filled
long.
up.
Yeah.
You're right.
I think either way, like, no, not everyone's gonna do it, but it might not hurt to have like a little Sharpie there with initials on the caps. There'll be 20 who do it, and that's 20 less water bottles that get lost. So less than 50% will do it, but we don't need
But
50.
hey, it's an effort.
How are people eating? Standing up?
Sure, so like my thought was maybe someone sent a video out. By the way, I took a really, I thought, like best like visual video I've ever done in my time with Grace. And then there was an issue with schedule sending it, and it didn't go out. And then it was gonna go out at 11 p.m. last night, and somehow we caught it, and I canceled it, because I try not to send 11 p.m. messages. Like by the flowers that look just pretty. Side comment, but the point is, I think I'm gonna do a video about this, and I'm gonna put it in Remind. And the idea would be, currently is bring chairs.
Okay.
Because I don't really want us to have to,
Load everything
now
up.
we do have like 20 very simple black camping chairs we use with like summer Bible camp and stuff, and that can be taken out. We've got 2 picnic benches, right, and some folks will sit on like the little parking. But the thing I wanted to ask you guys was location, and I mentioned, I hinted at that in my comments. My first thought was 3314 backyard, that Diga's Spots house. I kind of like too, it like separates space from the kids a little bit.
Yeah.
Will the kids be outside with
Well,
their pizza?
Hopefully,
Is it,
the weather.
No,
Very
okay, so
nice,
then we
yeah.
would need that separation.
Right now, the weather
or
looks
else-
fantastic for Thursday.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
I kind of, so I also think that there are also going to be folks who don't come at 5:30, who are gonna come
Later.
later, so they're gonna be driving in the parking lot, so I really like the Miss backyard.
Yeah, I think my spot would have been like, we would have left that whole chunk for parking, like one of them, and the other would have been for the event. Like actually,
kind of to the
my
right.
current thought was like the Hispanic festival is actually, which is blocking the cones the opposite way. And we would block off the spot where the staff usually is.
Oh, okay.
That was the thought.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
like, we
people
have to
would
think
come in.
different, we're so used to the cones being in
People,
like a certain
but people
spot.
would come in like they would for school and park that way. And
Okay.
what it would mean is the kids wouldn't have blacktop. They
Well,
have
I like that
180
little
school days to
separation.
use the blacktop,
Yeah.
so I didn't really care. So either that spot or her backyard.
I like the backyard.
Or the grains, it's gonna be like probably like a 3 classroom approach with Mike's being one of them, Mr. Pingle, but not the only one. And, so like when the kids sing on International Sunday and they do that like indoor public
Yeah,
meal.
yeah,
Yeah.
describes the
So that's what it
costumes.
would be, and then a few of the classrooms would be for kids, and a few would be for adults. That would be the only site unit.
Okay.
Which was, by the way, what we just did, this evening. We had a few rooms for the kids. And now we get hard fast, make you leave your kid, but that was the idea. That's how we would function with the rates.
Okay,
So,
okay.
but which outdoor spot do you like better? You said you like the backyard.
The backyard.
I think the backyard thing, because I think kids will naturally, like if they're kind of separated
Sure.
by the small little island of trees in between, like kids are gonna be kids and we love them, however, yeah, maybe an additional 25 feet of difference will keep the kids with the kids and the adults with the adults.
And maybe what we'll do is like rank them A, B, C, because if we have like what we had, there's a stretch this year when even some Bible camp week, it's sunny, but the grass is a mud pit. Then we'll be good.
Fair enough, yeah, in case it does rain, you're right, because sometimes Mrs.
Right, because it may not be raining currently, but that
Days
backyard
before.
area gets a little muddy, so.
In her backyard, the chair thing will be very important, because we don't have the picnic tables now.
Yeah, you know.
So making sure people
We need
bring
to
this
take some
chair.
tables from here over.
Yeah, we can,
That's
we can have
easy.
people.
Like a
kids.
serving table.
Yeah.
All sorts of.
Yeah, that's not a problem.
Maybe, I don't think this is necessary, but maybe it is. Do we need dessert?
I was just about to ask that, because I was gonna, does everyone want brownies, cookies?
My thought was
Can we get some
cookies,
cookies?
and like,
Can we get some BJ trees or something?
That was the
Those-
Yeah.
Sorry, no, the cloud kitchen is not quite ready.
I was
for that.
gonna suggest.
I think I think 150
Yeah.
cookies.
Can we do like
I
the
think-
variety, which has
I
like
like
the
a little,
brownies
it's
and.
actually like probably the highlight of my, back to school nights, you know, it's a little, I'm not, well, they're tiring and then you get like, oh nice. It's like Captain Cookie after the long theater.
That's right.
It's like, oh nice, I get to have a little ice cream now.
Yeah.
A thing, so I don't really want tents, but if you want tents, you can have tents. And the like, putting up
Oh,
pop-up tents.
yeah, no, I wasn't.
Grace people are obsessed with tents, except for Pastor Waddles and I are anti-tents.
Oh, I really think about it.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
But like people, like seriously, we bought like, someone donated like 2 more tents like a month or 2 ago, because everyone wants tents. And like, I think actually it is somewhat cultural. When they do the Hispanic festival, there's no tents. Hispanics don't think about tents. But for some reason, we all want tents for like shade, like wear a hat. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just because
understanding for an older
it's high
population.
effort, it's not low maintenance, someone's gotta set them all up, like truck and toss. We set what, 15 tents, and it's fine, but
Yeah.
there's nothing against it, but I was gonna suggest, let's streamline it as much as possible.
We're going low maintenance.
Especially, what if the weather turns, like, we're gonna try to do this outside, and then we're like, pivot,
Move into the house.
right, then we just come in and we don't have to, yeah, so.
Yeah, easy setup, easy cleanup.
Okay. I realize I see the 4 of us. Teachers, like, who can we commandeer? You know, I mean, like, I think about serving the food. Do we want, I mean, this is minutia maybe, but do we want certain people serving the food? Or serve yourself necessary.
I would say serve
Serve
yourself.
yourself, yeah.
I like to see the teachers, work in the crowd.
And like really getting to know the
Yeah.
So they
parents,
got, I
right?
got, the whole Grace staff got an earful from me on Monday's staff meeting about this. And I think I said it before, I'm so harsh, I said, I don't want you there if you're not gonna talk to new people. And I gave examples. So I said, Michaela, Marissa, the two of you talk the whole night. I don't want you there. What did I say, like Trisha and, I
You
went.
totally called people
I
out.
went name by name, and I said,
Tough
so if
love.
you do this, I don't want you there. Parents don't want you there. And they got the point, and it was all a joke. But the point was received to where I think they're gonna be really good at interacting with other people. But there are events where that should be the thing.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe even after theater night is an example of where you hang out with the people you know the best. Great.
Yeah.
Not this one.
Yeah, no, this is a kickoff.
And it's,
I think self-service, fine, that's like that, you mentioned the international
Yeah.
potluck, I mean, that goes fine.
exactly.
Yeah.
And then like,
You're right.
whoever y'all choose to kind of be that point person serves as the Trisha, Michaela, who just makes sure the platter's not empty sitting there. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But will Pastor Waddles want to do a blessing at the beginning? I mean, how do we?
Actually, he won't be there. I can if you want.
It's just kind of, do you want to be able to do that? I mean, I realize it's a meal, that sort of thing, but is it
It's
going to end up
a,
being a gaggle and more difficult? I don't know, because that also, like, do we need, microphone and
Yeah,
stuff like that?
so we won't need that if we don't want it, but I'll say one only because some people appreciate that, not because it's a thing written in the
Yeah.
Holy Bible, but because some people appreciate that. And he won't be there.
Okay.
That's one of the 5 or so that probably won't be there.
Like uninvited or just?
I was going to say, really make him mad, Mr. Price?
Well, I told him. I did tell him, like, you can't stand there and talk to me the whole night. I did say that. Because that's his safe spot, is to come talk to me.
Okay,
So,
teachers and
but no, he's got moved. And he actually had a meeting then too. He was only here for about the first 10 minutes of this.
Is Pastor Sartorius coming?
Maybe.
He would be helpful with translation.
Yeah, yeah. I think he's gonna be there. I just haven't confirmed with him.
Okay. I mean, Laura's already there, she can do it as well, but.
Jess will be there.
Okay, all right, so we have.
She's
we have
out of
some
town
folks
right
on.
now. It's right this season. She'll be there.
Sorry, Whitney, you probably have really good questions. And I
No,
was-
no, so I think of the menu and you stuff like that.
One thing Sarah pointed out, there's a couple sayings from our list that had English on them, so you translate what you have on the screen.
I think they're jumping in.
Okay. Then if you don't have a handout,
We
the Spanish
debated,
version of those.
and there's gonna be one actually that's texted out to them of the blue sheet.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah, it's funny, I didn't know that here for later. Slides printed in Spanish, so what was on the screen, if
Sure.
they had a translated version,
Yeah.
again, that's just, we
It's
just
not a
happened
bad
to
idea.
observe it, and
Mhm.
so, I mean, and they were just,
Oh, wow.
using a Google Lens on everyone, which actually was like endearing on some level, because they were
Fair to know it,
cared. Yeah, I mean, they could have just been like, okay, this guy's rambling on here. That's what I was thinking.
Oh, ouch.
I'm just kidding.
This was one of the times where I thought I rambled the least actually, so I'm gonna.
Did you?
Yeah.
You're getting better. Yeah, I did. Like,
Chris timed it.
congratulated her, 50 minutes.
Yeah, the teachers are gonna be nervous, which I told you. We started at 7:08.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you caught yourself not saying your name, maybe, so that was good.
Yeah. But you know, there's a whole, Dave would talk to me about this, there's a whole like, well, there's all this stuff on public speaking out there, right? All the great TED Talk people skip talking about themselves first and jump right into them. And actually, the little hook was the 1,350.
Oh, yeah, no, that's
So, but yeah, thank you.
Well played.
No, the last one of these I did, I really thought I tanked, so today, I think
It was very good.
Anyway.
And it was a
Everyone
good
gets better.
balance. I was gonna say, it was a good balance for us repeaters,
Yeah.
I think.
Exactly.
Not, kind of like, hey, if you wanna know more, go look somewhere else. I think I just always find out the hard way, because they never go look somewhere else. I'm like, oops, sorry. Okay,
And then what's the plan for gathering everyone to walk to the backyard up here? Is that, won't be as easy as
To
just
get
in the
back up
parking?
here, you mean?
Yeah, like, will you just kind of say, or someone say, okay, it's 6:20, we need to make our way,
Exactly.
okay.
And,
Cause that won't be as easy as being right here in the parking lot, and people just start filing in.
and in theory, and this is where I said the teachers get earful, because they were supposed to be the ones to make sure it happens. And the same will be true of this, but maybe not just the teachers, but some, like you guys, and then like
You'll show up and escort them.
Oh, that was a
The Pied
question,
Piper.
whether we needed, we,
Hopefully the first day, but I didn't officially ask.
I think you were already gonna
I was
try.
already asked.
Yeah,
Happy.
but I don't think we needed it that night.
Well, it wasn't gonna be me.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
gonna volunteer somebody else.
He was gonna see if Ted would do it.
Eighth grader,
Yeah.
like, or ninth grader now.
Yeah, that's
Before they
right.
talk.
Right?
What else have we forgotten?
I think we just need amongst ourselves figure out getting the food and.
Well, we haven't done, I don't think, like, we're gonna tap some folks to be, I'm thinking like, being like ambassadors, like being the other lead parents for the event to like not talk to the same people.
The Leslie Boydies,
Yeah.
or I say Chris, or right?
Sure, but there's, yeah. So,
On them.
but maybe I'll try to identify like 10, no more than 10 sets, and they'll get the special, as a,
Yeah.
be the favorites, actually the one that don't like, actually, no, take that home and.
Maybe a mix of, and I'm just thinking about what, Lindsay and Adam Kirkwood, so maybe
Yeah.
even a mix of church members and
Okay.
non-church members
Yeah.
to do that.
My, and actually my goal would be even deeper than that, to like, be nice to have one of our Ethiopian parents,
Yeah.
Hispanic parents, yeah, so,
Yeah, like a good, that's a good, just demographic variety.
across the
there.
grade levels, the whole of it.
Okay. And now we just have to figure out logistics of like,
Yeah.
we'll be back on Sunday.
And then just like receipts and then.
I'll bring it on Saturday.
Yeah, and we'll, I think
Then
we'll
I'll
be
reimburse from it.
responsible. I mean, we'll figure it out. We won't spend too much.
Yeah, it's fine.
I think.
But if it's like gonna be more than that, life goes on, just heads up, and then we'll figure it out.
Okay. We're good, we'll just work out amongst us.
The small little details?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then-
and if you don't mind doing the Portucalis.
The name tags, yeah, no,
that would be awesome.
I'll do that this weekend.
Alright, so I'm gonna get a list to y'all, and then, maybe the video thing explaining how this whole thing's gonna work, and get mine to parents.
Awesome.
So we'll give you
So
two.
now, do we need to put any comms out?
Oh,
there?
and the other list, folks.
So, you're gonna take care of all the comms to parents, things
That's
like
fine.
that, and then we just need to facilitate the event, is that, I just wanna make sure.
Think that works for me.
Okay,
And
and,
you had said everything will come from the school and
but
And
do
I,
messaging,
do we need to prepare anything for that presentation that night? Cause I know you had
Yeah,
said that we were
so-
gonna talk about it a little more.
we can do it any which way. Kind of my thinking was, like, there's like those 3 buckets that we kind of identified in the parent guide, and just leaning into that, maybe for about 3 to 5 minutes.
is that the family support and assimilation
Yeah,
activities and then recruitment?
exactly. Right, and we don't need a ton of detail, but just an example from each category would suffice. And maybe someone else saying whether leaning is helpful sometimes, and that's it. And so there's like things that I didn't say tonight that may happen this year, like for example, we get the little added little bonus information. I think we're probably gonna do something called GCA Cares Week, which is a whole lot of stuff we'll send out on it, but I didn't share it yet. So it's just picking things. So like with that, just pick one in an area and say, you know, and I think there's some points on all of them, pick
There
the
are,
one that
yeah.
you wanna kinda, or that we've kinda talked about thinking this is one that we definitely can attack year one. Not everything will happen right away, so.
Well, I think the whole parent group as a whole, I think, is it fair to say that this is, in this inaugural state, it's a foundation year. So, you know, a few things, do them well, and then grow as we can.
Yeah, and, the one question that comes up a lot is like, so let's be probably Tim. Kind of the thing we talked about, right, was wants to be all inclusive, but with limits. And the limit being, if you're a terrible sport about it, then I tell you that, I will. So there's not like this like initiation or like in the 7 things you need to do in order to be a member. Just come as you are, do what you can, take on more as you can, and be a good member in that regard. And if you aren't, I'm not asking you to stop doing some of that.
I think maybe too, highlighting things that that the school would need help with, maybe this, I still say semesters instead of quarters, but like volunteering for the book fair, like you
Right.
probably put that out there, like, oh, an opportunity, take a shift at the book fair, and then, one of the other
And
ones I
maybe the
saw.
most recent things, you're right, Whitney, like that comes up quick.
Yeah, like figure out where you need things
To kind of like target
in the
those.
first 6 weeks or
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, I like that.
So the second question from that would be communication-wise. Parents want to volunteer for the book fair or whatever. Do they go to you? Do you do like a parent email alias?
So the goal, there's a few different things we can do, but we're debating between like Sign Up Genius and Calendly right now for things this year, but the idea would be like, then it all, like, I've seen schools that do it where you click on the link and it shows you 6 different volunteering things, all on the one link by just clicking the different tab within the link. Right, like, so here's the volunteer at the book fair. Here's the this, here's the that. But then it's like lives in that parent resource spot. And then multiple people can manage it. And would be one of them. That would be one of them. That would be one of them. And then, so what that allows is like, so if it's the book fair, right? Like, so you're going to be working with Miss Bots. If it's truck and toss, which isn't happening, then you're like, we're working with Bethany. So like, if the person you work with internally here changes, but the way in which you engage stays the same, and then the same people, like us, can always access it, would be the goal.
Yeah, we just need to be able to figure out the communication channel between us and the parents to say, hey, this is an event that we need to, an opportunity to support.
Yeah, the goal is not to make more red tape that we go through, but facilitate the process as best we can.
Yeah, and I mean, I've thought about like, what if we created, right, like a parents@graceva.org email, but there's pros and cons to that. Like sometimes, and like we could all have access to it, right, and fall underneath the GCA Google domain, and it all works fine. But sometimes that's like Sarah Cloud, the individual. So you can think about it, and if you guys end up having a preference, I don't have one yet, but.
And I'm wondering maybe we just need to meet and like brainstorm all this stuff and just capture it and then bring it back and
It's fun.
see where it lands. I mean, I realize like our 10-meter target is next Wednesday, and I think that's like the biggest.
Yeah, and it looks, seems in good shape. I mean, maybe one more comment on the communication side of it is like, so in the red folders tonight was something that's never been in there before. Another example of, it's not the same, I have a broken record, is the 2-sided opt-out forms. And so the thinking being, what we're going to do is, we're going to get them all back, or not get them back, and whatever we don't get back, by like being a school, everyone who is good to go, we're going to have a list, and each teacher will send it out. So then, what maybe that'll have on it is like a star or an extra sheet at the bottom, the who do you contact if, and maybe one of them is like Chris and Sarah Clow on an email, with me and Dave DeCan on an email, and it's right there, and then they have it. So.
Okay. Yeah, so my brain is thinking about a lot of things. Okay.
Great stuff. Hi, Jenny.
Sorry,
Come on.
I don't think I have any more questions, but I don't even know if I probably have them and I don't even realize it.
Maybe,
Yeah, we're done. Yeah.
we can chat, because I can get stuff over the weekend that I would need to, since you won't be here.
Yeah,
But
sorry,
just I
this
need
is
to
timing
know.
for me
That's
is just
fine.
terrible
Just-
this time.
Yeah, maybe tomorrow's already Thursday, so I guess we have to talk tomorrow.
Yeah.
And,
We have dinner tomorrow night downtown. Now I can talk on Friday all day. I'm
Oh,
so
okay.
sure.
Oh, okay.
7 straight
For
hours.
7 straight hours.
Put you on speakerphone and go at it.
No, but I know you have a job, like during the day. I just happen to have the day off. But we can definitely,
but that's fine.